How to find the keywords that finally get your vintage listing seen. Are yours invisible or are they being found? Hi, I am Treva, a 30-year vintage online seller, and thank you for stopping by and visiting Journey of a Vintage Seller channel. I help other vintage sellers rise above ordinary listings through AI and vintage intelligence training in which we become more powerful working together. Right now, this listing is being found. In just one day, I already have 4 views, which is a good sign. These type of candle holders are always a good seller. They are heavy black iron, quality made from the 1960s to 70s. I found these at a local flea market for only $20. The process for all new items is to get them cleaned, freshened, and styled for some great photos. Next, research and then get them listed. Why most listings stay buried is they are not attracting the right buyers. Beginners take dark photos, miss detailed photos, use broad keywords, which will bury their listing. The advanced seller takes time to clean, shoots plenty of photos, hero, lifestyles, angles, close-ups, builds a connected path of layers, speaks the buyer's language, and their listing becomes findable to the right person. The 4-layer keyword trail, miss 1 layer, and the listing goes into hiding. Layer 1 is the object, is the candle wall sconce. Material is wrought iron, form scrollwork, and quantity is a pair. Is the core works. This tells everyone what it is without any of the fancy words. These are the anchor words, and without them, nothing will hold. We begin our research, AI assistant research of keywords. So providing AI with our core words, our anchor words, and uploading a photo of the object, it will allow AI to find the right keywords, trends, and buyer phrases. Layer 2, the style. Is Claude smarter than a 30-year vintage expert? Mediterranean/Tuscan and Gothic and Old World are some of the styles Claude mentioned. These are popular styles. Claude didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. I could have just added these to my listing all by myself, just using my own memory. Oh, I see. That genius Claude, he may have just saved my listing from being buried. He discovered that if I used Mediterranean or Tuscan as a keyword in my listing, they would not help at all. These are going or no longer in style. However, by using Gothic and Old World keyword styles, these would bring me a higher intent buyer who has their credit card in hand and are willing to pay for the higher priced items, and my wall candle sconces are just what they are looking for. Layer 3, room and a use. Your buyer is not just buying the object. They are solving a problem. They need to fill a space on their wall, or they need something to create a warm welcoming in their empty hallway. And layer 4, buyer intent. This is what separates views from sales. You have the low intent buyer who searches for ideas, inspiration, looks for bargains, and rarely buys, while a high intent buyer knows exactly what they want, which room it's for, the color, the style, the size, and are ready to buy. I let 3 AIs argue about it. Most sellers trust one. I run all 3. Let's see what they come up with. I used Chat, Claude, and Google. Chat and Claude have been trained by me, and Google has not. I am using all 3 like a second and third opinion. I ran the same prompt on all 3 for these candle sconces. Let's check out the outcome. Chat was best at building the full listing. He is always very safe in his answers as to not overclaim anything he cannot verify. This is mainly due to the way I have trained him, but the being safe is all him. Claude was the best at trends and keyword depth. He did a great job of warning me about the 2 trends that were leading in the wrong direction and making sure I chose Gothic and Old World instead of the outdated styles. I have him trained well too. However, I was using the extra effort mode, which uses more credits and adds up fast. Then there is Google, in which I haven't trained. However, Google is connected to a lot of good information on trends for how people search, which is good to attract outside buyers, but you have to make sure you interpret which ones will attract your high intent buyer. Overall, all the AIs give you extra advantages if you know how to decipher, ask questions, and tell them when they are wrong or have contradicted themselves. Now it is your turn to test it out. Find an old listing and ask 3 different AIs to help you optimize this listing that hasn't sold. Open your edit mode and take a screenshot of the photos, title, tags, and description. If you need to take more than 1 screenshot, that's okay. Tell your AI which platform you are selling on, and a live search is needed to ensure we have the most current hot keywords, styles, and phrases for your high intent buyers.